Hey everyone, today I'm going to bring you my guide to getting rich off of Grand Heist at the start of a league. Grand Heists have flown under the radar for a while now, and they've quickly risen up the ranks of profitability to the point where this league I would say was by far the most profitable money-making strategy that I know of. I'm friends with some people who are raking in a little under a mirror per day from farming Grand Heist, which is really quite insane. Personally, I only ran Grand Heist very casually between Atlas progression, and I still made about 70 exalts over the course of a few days, having only spent a few hours each day doing this. Many people are burnt out of heisting due to fractured blueprint farming back in Heist League, and many others simply skipped Heist League. This has resulted in a very large portion of the player base not even interacting with the heist mechanic at all nowadays. Additionally, there are many people who are reasonably turned off by what initially seems like a large requirement of time and effort to unlock and level up all your rogues. On the other hand, there are over 600 alt quality gems and roughly 100 replica uniques, and that means for the few people that are willing to farm these at the start of a league, they essentially get to have a monopoly on these items. So before we get into how to actually make money off Grand Heist, we're going to talk about how to quickly unlock and level up all your rogues. So here we have a heist cheat sheet that I've been using for the past 2 leagues. The right hand side shows the unlock order for each rogues. A lot of people are mistakenly under the impression that you need to do the green quests that come from smuggler caches to unlock all the rogues, but that isn't true at all. All you're going to do is simply run a contract with the corresponding rogue, and that will unlock the next rogue. So you simply run any cast contract at level 1, and that's going to unlock Huck. Then you run any Huck contract, and you unlock Niles. Niles then unlocks Vidiri, who unlocks Gianna. Next you move on to Tibbs. Tibbs is already unlocked at the start when you get to the Rogue Harbor. You do a single contract with him and you unlock Talina, and then do a single contract with her and you unlock Nanette. Isla is already unlocked, and running Isla doesn't really unlock anyone. So, as you can see here, from 6 contracts, you get all the rogues unlocked right off the bat. Then on the left-hand side, you can see which contract type gives which rewards, and you can also see which rogues correspond to which contract type. Additionally, you can see there are small numbers next to the names underneath each rogue. Now, these show the max level for the particular skill. So for lockpicking, for example, Cast can get to level 5 lockpicking, whereas Huck and Talina can only get to level 3. Now the main thing that you really want to care about is that when you do one of these contracts, you want to run the rogue on the far left hand side of this list. So when you do a lockpicking contract, you only ever want to run Cast. When you do a brute force, you only ever want to do Tibbs, Perception, Nanette, Demolition, Vindiri, so on and so forth. The reason why is because you're going to otherwise end up leveling up a bunch of rogues, and let's say for example, I were to do lockpicking with Huck. Huck caps at level 3, and then I go to run a blueprint that requires level 4 lockpicking. Well, suddenly Huck is useless because I can't get Huck to level 4, so I have to go re-level Cast up. Now, at the start of a typical league, all of these guys are going to be level 1, and doing one contract for each of them is going to get them to around level 2. Once you've unlocked each of the rogues, I would advise taking a low-level contract. So, as you can see here, I've already prepared a couple. You're going to take a low-level contract, and you're going to pop it in, and then you're going to do the reveals as I explain later on. Now, this is going to then give you a bunch of requirements for different skills. So, because we're doing low-level ones, which are around white map level, they're only going to require level 1 or level 2 at most. And this is pretty much what you want, because rogues can still gain quite a lot of experience from doing blueprints, and as long as you get the correct type of blueprint, so namely unusual gems or replicas, then you're getting rewards that are worth your time, and then you're also leveling up your rogues at the same time. So you don't have to waste a lot of time running rogues through normal contracts, which aren't as profitable, and then doing blueprints after the fact. You can simply start leveling them up right off the bat through profitable blueprints, and then by the time you get to red map blueprints, which is where the real profit comes in and where the higher level requirements are going to kick in. So as you can see on this blueprint, we require level 4 engineering. By that point, all your rogues are going to already be leveled up. A lot of people make the mistake of, spending this, if they're interested in Heist, they try and spend the start of the league doing, say, 30, 40 contracts to level each of their rogues up to the max level for every skill. This is a total and complete waste of time. As you can see here, a lot of my rogues are already leveled up to the max for pretty much most of their skills, or at least the ones that are important to them. Or if they're not at the max, they're close already. This was pretty much purely through blueprints. I have barely run any contracts on this account and in this league, other than running the contracts required to unlock all the rogues, and then spamming deception missions. And now we're going to talk about how to actually min-max your rogue marker economy, and how to do reveals properly. So when it comes to actually running your regular contracts, the only contracts you really want to run, other than the initial lot to unlock your rogues, are going to be deception and lockpicking contracts. Lockpicking contracts give a really solid amount of currency per hour, especially early in a league. I did a test earlier on the other day, and I was making between 3 to 400 C per hour spamming lockpicking contracts. Now, the only catch there is that lockpicking contracts cost usually 3C each if you're buying them off of TFT in bulk. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on whether you find a particularly generous person who isn't attached to his contracts. And that also means that you could get away with selling your lockpicking contracts where you make a smaller amount of money but then save, you know, the hour or whatever that you would have had to spend running the contracts yourself. So discounting that, then the next thing that we care about are deception contracts. Deception contracts are basically pretty much the main part of Heist outside of Grand Heist. They're the only thing you need to set up your Grand Heists effectively. And the main reason we do deception is because it provides us with the ability to run Gianna missions. Gianna missions, when she's maxed up, give a 40% discount on her reveals. So when you do any contract, you get a reveal with Wakano for your Grand Heists, and you do need these to start revealing all your blueprints. However, when you run Gianna missions, you also get an additional reveal with Gianna, but she provides a very big discount. Now, depending on where you're looking, if you're looking at the Gianna page from Cast over here, I'll just show you. It says that she gives a 30% reduced blueprint revealing cost. However, this is incorrect. She actually gives a 40%. So as you can see here, a 40% reduction on this wing drops us down correctly to 2,210 rogue markers. This is very important because rogue markers at the time of making this video, and usually even at other times, are about 1 chaos orb to each 400 markers. And that means that revealing this wing without a discounted reveal is about 9C alone, right? And then additionally, every reveal you do makes all the other reveals cost more money, or cost more rogue markers. And this is a huge problem, because if this wing costs 9C just to reveal, the next one's going to cost, say, 10C, and then the one after that's 11C. And that means that you need to then make way more money than that each wing to, you know, to make a steady amount of profit per hour. So now the other reason that we want to run deception contracts with Gianna is because deception is the only type of contract that doesn't have locked doors on the way out. So I included a small clip of a deception mission at the start of this video, and as you'll see from that, there are no locked doors on the way out that block your path. Now, I did one locked door on the way out, but that actually wasn't leading to the exit. I was mistakenly trying to open a reward room. This means that you can effectively spam close to 25 deception missions per hour, which is going to give you 25 discounted reveals, and that is about 8 full blueprints, right? And on top of that, deception missions, as you'll see here, give us divination cards and harbinger as reward rooms. Now, the divination card reward rooms mostly just give, you know, 3 to 6 stack decks each, which effectively every stack deck can be sold for a chaos orb when you're selling in bulk. So you're essentially just getting a lot of raw currency that's very easy to liquidate. And then the harbinger rooms give you scarabs, they give you ancient orbs and ancient shards, they give you exalt shards. It's very hard. You can run deception at about 250 to 350 chaos per hour, which means that not only are you farming the reveals, which are worth money that we're not counting into that, but you're also making quite a lot of money compared to just normal Atlas progression. So for this reason, with all your other contracts, it's fine to just sell all your contracts in bulk on TFT or not run them. Deception contracts are pretty much the only ones you want to care about and the only ones you want to focus on doing. As I said before, you can do lockpicking, just if you're kind of bored of Atlas progression and, you know, you have some lockpicking contracts saved up and you just, you know, want to make some currency. They're fine to go run. You're going to make steady money. Lockpicking isn't a particularly dangerous, you know, contract compared to, say, trap disarmament or agility, where if you're not paying attention, you can easily die. And on top of that, Cast has a very nice bonus where he gives reduced alert level when you're opening chests, so you can open a lot of smaller chests along the way. Now, early in a league, if you're still doing Chaos Recipe, Heist is an insane source of Chaos Recipe jewelry. If you were running lockpicking missions, assuming you had a stockpile of them, and doing Chaos Recipe at the same time, you can make close to 400 C per hour just off by factoring in the extra Chaos Recipe. And that's really important when you're doing, like early strategies in a league, because typically you're not making very much money at all. 3 to 400 C per hour is about an average amount for where we're currently at in the league, a week in, where we're already now juicing maps and doing Atlas strategies. But when you have none of your Atlas unlocked and you can jump straight into this stuff and make 3 to 400 C per hour, it's great. And this is something I would really consider, especially if you struggle making currency typically at the start of the league. You're not the kind of person who goes for a week 1 headhunter, that sort of thing. Lockpicking and using these, even using the jewelry boxes, like the big jewelry boxes to also complement it, it's just so much easier to finish your Chaos Recipes off running the lockpicking contracts. Alright, so now we're going to move on to Grand Heists. So with Grand Heists, there are pretty much 2 types of blueprints that you care about and 2 that you don't. The replica and the unusual gem blueprints are very high value, and that's where you're going to be making the bulk of your money, because there's such a high amount of variance in the items that they can drop. Unusual gems in particular kind of has like a Watcher's Eye sort of thing going on. The reason why Watcher's Eye farming is very valuable is because there are so many mods that usually if you get stuck into it early, you're going to be obtaining Watcher's Eyes that have the only version of that mod that exists in the league for at least a day or 2. So you effectively have a monopoly on that mod, and you can set whatever price you want. And you don't even have to get greedy with those prices. You can still make quite a lot of money because those mods are high in demand and there's basically no supply for them. Unusual gems are kind of like Watcher's Eyes on crack, if you think about it. You will get 4 wings, and at the end of each wing is 5 alt quality gems. In most cases, none of them even exist on the market at that time, so you can pretty much set whatever prices you want. And I know some people will try and get greedy and will set 5-6x prices. A lot of people aren't going to pay this, but you can bait people into making impulse purchases. If you get an alt quality gem that has some demand for it, but there's literally none on the market, if you price it at say 60-70 C, you're going to get a sale very reliably on that item. Just because there will be people who, they're in the position that spending 70 C on that alt quality gem is not the best use of that 70 C, but they're faced with the prospect that if they don't buy it off you then, that someone else may buy it, and then they can't get that gem for another few days, and then when it goes back on the market, the next person may put it up for say 3 or 4x, at which point they're going to lose a lot more money in the long run by holding out. So they'll buy the gem earlier to try and get a good deal on the gem. Now, I've prepared a set of tabs that show off some of what you might expect from alt quality gems. So, Anomalous Blood, these are just a few I've picked out that are some of the ones I came across whilst farming Grand Heist. There are way more that I'm not going to cover here. There are lots that I don't even know about. PoE Ninja doesn't even have a list compiled for them, and I don't know of any spreadsheets or any websites that are keeping a list. So this is just a situation where you're going to have to run them yourself and then price check them at the end of the wings and make your mind up and see for yourself. And also keep in mind, these prices have come down from a few days ago. I would say the unusual gem blueprints aren't even as profitable as when I was running them, but they're still very profitable to run, and you'll see why. So, Anomalous Blood Rage, 4x, right? And it goes up from there. The cheapest one is 4x. You have Divergent Cyclone, 1x. Now we have here Anomalous Summon Carrion Golem. So this is like a more mid-range one, 20 to 30 C. And this being anomalous, this is probably one of the high weighting ones. So it's not like this is a rare one. This is just like an easy 20 C that you're gonna make. And remember, with the Gianna discounts, you're probably investing 5 C into each wing. So to invest 5 C and then run to the end of a wing and make 20 C is very good money. And this is kind of like more of this is closer to a worst case scenario, because of course this isn't going to be like the worst gem you find, but it's going to be, you have 5 choices, and it's very rare that of the 5 choices none of them are worth good money. So you get to pick you get to pick the best of 5 choices, and usually the worst case scenario is that the best of 5 choice is going to be worth 20C or something. Divergent Zealotry, 60C starts going up to 70C. We can see here 1x. There aren't even that many on the market. And then Divergent Anger, the one that provides, at 20% quality, it provides 1% movement speed. And people are willing to pay 1x just for one that isn't even leveled up yet. So that should give you an idea. Now, there is also money to be made in getting these gems and then leveling them up yourself and selling them once they hit, once they are 2020. You're not going to make insane amounts of additional profit doing it that way, but you're going to be making more money doing that than leveling up regular gems that, like say, just getting a normal anger to 2020. There's lower amounts of money in doing that versus alt gems. Doing an alt gem at 2020, so this person here tried to corrupt it, go for the 2120. He missed. I don't think he's going to sell at 6.5x, but the reality is if you did level up this to level 20 on your own and you slapped a couple of GCPs on it to get it up to 20 quality, you could easily make a sale at 2x, which means that just for leveling up a gem, you made a 1x profit. And I've done this myself. I know a lot of other people do it. People will pay for the convenience, and especially when it comes to alt quality gems, that they provide very specific luxuries and whatnot. So typically, because the things they're paying for in the quality, then to get benefit of it, they have to quickly level the gem up to the level of the non-alt quality gem. So they're willing to pay that premium so that they can get that access to that power right away. Now, I'm going to quickly just run through how you want to do your reveals. This is very important. A lot of people make the mistake of losing money when they do this. So you're going to slap a blueprint. You're going to go to Wakano. You're going to click that. Going to select Gianna here. And then you're going to use her to reveal each wing. So just to display the point I was trying to make, see how this wing has 2,081 cost? We're going to reveal this, and now this has gone up to 2,714. So that went up quite a lot. That went up almost 2C in price. Now this next one is 2,600. We're going to reveal this wing. It's now up to 3,200. We're going to reveal that. Now, at this point, revealing our rooms is going to cost 2C each. Kind of not worth it, I'm not going to lie. You could argue that, on average, if you start revealing these rooms, it's going to be worth money. However, I would make the argument that simply going to the rooms that are already pre-revealed, the ones that you get for free, that's going to fill up your alert bar already, as it is. And so there's no point revealing these extra rooms, but then missing out on these free rewards. Because these free rewards are worth money at the end of the day. Even if they're not the jackpot type items, you're still getting quite a lot of them. And I'm going to show you a full run from here, just so you can see for yourself. But basically, it's not worth it actually revealing the small rooms. I know in Heist League we did things differently, but given the current cost of markers, given the fact that you're not going to be min-maxing your rogues or anything through, there are a lot of things that were nerfed, and you can't just go in and loot every room now, and you're also not going to be able to get min-max combinations of rogues in every wing or anything. So all you're going to do is just reveal the wings with Gianna, then you're going to swap back to Wakano, unless you have loads of extra Gianna reveals, and you can do her. And you're going to look at only escape rooms. That's literally all you care about now. And you're going to take the escape routes that are close to the curio display rooms. So for this one, this is really close to it. We're going to take this. For this one, so this is like the entry point or the exit, and the escape route is reasonably close. So I'm going to skip the escape route here because there's no point paying 1C just to skip one room, really. Now for this next one, you have the same deal. This escape route lets us skip this one room, so it's not really worth it. And this one's kind of close, but it's probably about halfway. I'm going to deem it worth it in this case, so we're going to get this reveal. You're then going to take your blueprint. Now, as you can see, our requirements from having revealed the other wings has gone up. We have Brute Force level 4, Demolition level 3, Counter Thaumaturgy level 3, so on and so forth, right? So this is why you wanted to do the lower level blueprints before you get to the high level blueprints, so that all you guys are already leveled up. You're going to slap this in the planning table. Then you're just going to quickly assign all the rogues to the relevant jobs. Going to hit confirm plans, pull it out. Actually, I don't think you even need to pull it out.
Hello.
But you go prepare Grand Heist, pull it here, begin. I'm just going to go through one, and you know we'll see what kind of rewards we
Could
get.
you please lower your anxiety? It's seeping. Yes, I had just the thing.
Assembly been sighted.
Easy peasy.
Now, when you're doing trap disarmament or any things that require trap disarmament, you want to be careful not to walk onto the chests, because they will kill you pretty much. Now, as you can see from that, 2 chests, and we're almost full on the alert bar. I'd like to go get at least one of those metamorph chests, but I don't think we're going to have room. So we might just skip it, which is fine. We'll open up the escape route before actually needing to use it. That way it's already open when we get back to it. Now, there are different job types here, so we can send different rogues to do them at the same time. Fortunately, they're quick. So, as you can see, hovering over it, the alert bar would completely fill up. So, I'm just going to skip the metamorph one. It's a real shame that we had to do that, but that just sort of goes to show that that's why it's not worth revealing the other rooms. Okay, we have a few options here. Now, we will just quickly price check these. So, this one's already set to anomalous. Anomalous shield charge, 910C, we don't really want that. Do we have other anomalous? Yep, anomalous ballista, anomalous tornado shot.
Phew, that gets the old heart racing.
3C, 7C, 9C. Nope. Try tornado shot, 23C. So this is probably what we're going to end up taking. We'll just check anomalous knockback support. I'm almost certain this is going to be worthless. 28C. That's surprising. That is honestly surprising. I can't see that actually selling, to be perfectly honest. We have a divergent tab open, so we'll just use this. This is another thing I'd recommend using the matching. Having one tab open for each type of quality. So a divergent searing bond. Ooh, that is not worth money. Okay, so having a anomalous tab, a divergent tab, a phantasmal tab, although I don't have any here. We're just going to take anomalous tornado shot. It was slightly less than the anomalous knockback, but I wasn't confident that the anomalous knockback was going to sell. So we'll be able to get like 22C out of anomalous tornado shot, which is, you know, considering we're going to be investing, say, I'm going to say about an average of 8C into each wing. That's about 15C profit straight off the bat. Now, when you come out of an escape route, you can immediately go back in, and it just puts you straight into the next wing. So now I can see if the mini-map reward chests here, here, and here. I'm going to skip the weapon ones and go just for the unique ones. They have larger pools of potential drops, and they can drop some cool things now that the unique rewards have been overhauled. Now, typically when you run Vindiri, the alert level goes up quite a lot, because he has the chance to duplicate things. Okay, nothing even worth picking up. Just gonna skip.
Their strategy was incorrect.
We got skipped out on a level there, fortunately. Okay, we got a duplication there, but absolutely nothing worth picking up. Which is fine. We're not doing these for those reward chests, we're doing them for the end rewards. Okay. Clear out the mobs. Oh, anomalous unleash. That might be nice. Anomalous seismic cry. Conversion trap. Ruthless. Okay, let's start price checking. So go to an anomalous tab. $20C, not too bad. I can't see conversion trap even selling. I'm going to price check it just in case, but yep, worthless. Seismic cry. 10C, okay, not worth a lot. Unleash. $15, $20. Probably devalued by the existence of Awakened Unleash. And now, Phantasmal Shrapnel Ballista. I'll set one of the other tabs to Phantasmal. Worthless. Okay, so I think it was Ruthless Support that was best. Let's just double check. Yep, 20C. So again, at about like an 8-9C investment, we've pulled out an 11C profit out of that wing. And, you know, we also got unlucky with the minor awards. As in, like, those unique chests that gave us absolutely nothing. Generally, you should try and avoid standing still the way I just did. Bad practice. And in this one we didn't get the escape route because it wasn't worth it. So we're just gonna move on. Okay, so these two are done. Now I'm gonna do the last two. Try and get a move on.
Hold on to your butts. Difficult, not impossible.
We have meta more rewards down here. I'm gonna see what one chest gives before I'm gonna do one of these chests and then just move on. Okay, nothing good here. And just to reiterate what I was saying before, we didn't even reveal extra reward rooms, and we just don't have enough alert level to get what we have available to us. Now, of course, if you did reveal the other reward rooms, you would, you would get stuff that's sort of a lot better, and it may even be worth the rogue markers, but it's just hard to say.
Fun.
I'd say probably better not to like make the gamble, especially when there are like jackpot type rewards usually in these ones. Just sort of take what you can get. The other thing to consider is that if you don't want to do like the armor or unique reward boxes like I've been doing, you can fill up your alert bar on these smaller chests, which is a completely viable thing to do, by the way.
I didn't get stabbed.
Okay. Divergent Siege Ballista. Nope, worthless. Divergent Summon Holy Relic. see. Divergent Animate Guardian. 1x. Awesome. Okay. That's probably what we're taking. Divergent Correctly Lens. I can't see that being worth big money. 10C? Nope. Anomalous Animate Guardian. Okay. 12C. Okay. So. Increased max minion life compared to minions have area of effect. Okay. We'll take our 1x. Another thing to keep in mind is this is a really good experience. Grand Heists are reasonably safe to do, especially once you have a decent build. Certainly a lot safer than like mapping and doing ultimatums. So it's nice to be able to make a lot of money and then still level up at the same time.
Why? You're looking for a little time off? Clever. Not clever enough.
We have some better reward rooms here. Fossils and Harbingers. Okay. We got Vindiri duplicates. Really good right there. So that was just 8 exalt shards off one room, which was nice.
That gets the old heart racing.
We may be able to go for these unique boxes, but we'll have to see. I think we got another set of duplicates here. What do these fossils sell for 1C each in bulk, and sometimes even more? Like I know just yesterday I sold these fossils for 1C each in bulk. Okay, we can get one of these boxes and we'll do just that. Not worth it. Totally fine. So let's clear this out. Was that another Divergent Animate Guardian? Jesus Christ. I mean, we'll check the others just for the sake of it. As ridiculous as it is, we may make money off something else. Okay, Divergent Perforate, nope. Divergent Maim. Nope. Divergent Nightblade, I'm not convinced. This is gonna probably do much. Nope. Anomalous Leap Slam. Nope.
Go on then, make a path.
Oh, such awful racket. Must go faster, must go faster.
I worry I shall grow bored of success. Let's hope we live long enough to find out, eh?
So, just to wrap things up, right, we spent just about 15 minutes doing all that. You can run about 4 of these per hour. You can actually run 5 per hour if you're really pumping it and trying to go as fast as possible, but I kind of wasn't. And we can see here, like, we have a really good assortment of loot for what was 15 minutes, and we can just multiply that by 4 to get an idea of how much we're getting per hour. So, exalted shards, we have, what's that, about 40, almost 50C worth of exalted shards here. We have 30C tornado shot, 40C ruthless support. So that's already 120C, 2x between our divergent animate guardians. You have each of these are worth 1C, so 1, 2, 3, 7, 10C worth of stuff there. So I think that was so that 130 and 2x. These are worth 2C each, so that puts us up to 144 roughly. We'll just call all this 150. A bunch of this stuff's going to be worth like very small amounts of currency, so we'll just call it all up about 3x worth of stuff, probably a little more. But that's 3x for 15 minutes worth of work. You can multiply that by 4, you're getting about 12x per hour, and this is a full week into the league. So if I had done this 2-3 days ago, this inventory would probably have been worth 4 to 5x, and if you multiply that by 4, you can see you're looking at like 20x per hour. And now you can start to understand why people were making a mirror per day from doing this, because and this looks like a lucky outcome. The truth is it's not. This is about pretty average for all the gem Grand Heists I did over the course of the league, and from what I hear from other people, it's very unlucky that you get a run where you have 4 gems that are like ruthless and tornado shot supports here, where they're only worth 30-40C. All up, we probably invested about 40C to do this run, and we got back so much more than what we put in. The margins of profit are insane, and that's why people are willing to spend large amounts of money on blueprints early in a league. But that's also the reason why you shouldn't be afraid to invest, 10 to 15C in one of these blueprints if you have to, because even if you get a worst case scenario where all 4 of your alt gems are bad, it doesn't matter. There are going to be so many runs where you're going to have multiple gems worth 1 to 2 exalts that, over the course of a day of doing this, you're just going to make insane amounts of money. Part of the reason I didn't just no-life it and just spam the hell out of Grand Heist is because it felt almost unfair. The amount of money you can make from Grand Heist versus actually playing the other aspects of the game, it is absurd. And part of the reason why is, aside from everything already mentioned, is that when you do Grand Heist early in a league, you are delaying your Atlas progression. Delaying your Atlas progression means that when you do hit the Atlas and you start to farm Cirrus, you're going to be doing all that stuff at lower profit as well. Getting certain awakened gems early in a league can be worth 4 to 5x, and then getting them a week or 2 later, they're only worth 1x. So there is a price to be paid. It's not like this is just no strings attached profit. You're giving something up. But that's also the same reason why not a lot of people are going to be doing this. And it's why even if this strategy becomes popularized and everyone gets involved in doing it, it's still going to be very worthwhile doing at the start of each league, because not many people are willing to sacrifice their Atlas progression and delay all their, Maven passives and all that sort of stuff to go do this. But it's insane profit if you do. If you have an expensive build, like, so for example, League started Stormbrand as I usually do, and that's about a 40x to get it, really going, where you can just clear the entire game smoothly. This is a great way to get that build going. It's just all the money you want, and I can't recommend anything else other than Grand Heist. I'm still going to probably, at some point, do a video on my Atlas strategy. A couple people have asked for that, but I think the most important thing is understanding that Grand Heists are where the money is at the moment, and it's probably where the money is going to be at for the foreseeable future. Heist was just a terribly unpopular league. Not a lot of people are going to be doing the Heist. Even if this knowledge spreads, that's not going to be enough to convince people to do it. There are people within my circle of friends that were aware of how much money I was making from it, and I was constantly telling them, whoa, I just got this for 3x, I just got this for 2x, I just had a run where I made 7x. They hate Heist so much that there is nothing I can say to convince them to do Grand Heist, and there are a lot of people out there like this. So if you can tolerate this content, or even enjoy it like I do, you're going to get rich. there's no luck involved. It's just consistent high profit. And even if you get started doing it now, after I release this video, when a lot of the profits for a lot of the gems have come down, you're still going to be making way more money than if you were grinding your Atlas. I'm not saying you should stop grinding your Atlas, but it's something to consider, and especially something to consider for the future. Day 2, Day 3 of the league, you have a bit of currency saved up, go out there on the TFT Discord, start buying up blueprints, buy all your friends' blueprints, and just get stuck into doing Grand Heist. Guaranteed, you will become rich as hell. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I know a lot of you have been asking for me to put this out, so it's finally out there, and I hope this video wasn't too long that you got bored halfway through, but there is a lot to cover when it comes to Heist. It was a very in-depth league. It has a lot of complexity. I didn't even start talking about min-maxing your heists with the heist gear, using heist trinkets, and a lot of the reason I didn't touch on that in this video is, aside from the fact that this video could easily be 2 to 3 hours long if we were going to get into it, this stuff isn't really... it's not relevant to your ability to make lots of money here. As you saw, I just made a ton of money. This is just some random trinket I picked up for the sake of having an extra trinket to put incubators on, really. I'm only just learning now that I'm looking at it, that it gives extra delve items and extra div cards. You know, terribly unimportant. All my rogues, min-maxing there, terribly unimportant. Like, the only thing you really need to care about is having Gianna at max level to get the maximum reveal value. Farm deception contracts to get Gianna reveals, then go do replica and unusual gem blueprints, and you make money. It's as simple as that. Anyway, have a good one, guys. I hope this helped.